All right, everybody, welcome back to Elysium. Today I wanted to go over the Gangrel clan from 1st edition. Before I do, I wanted to go over what we're looking for in a Gangrel vampire. Now, the Gangrel clan, their symbol is the little wolf head, and they're sort of known as the feral vampires. They're typically known for their animalism, their ability to shapeshift into animals, also claws, teeth, that sort of thing, but without looking too deformed, if you know what I mean. And so those are kind of the features that we're going to be looking for in the Gangrel clan. And we're just going to go over the artwork. There are 15 vampires here. And as always, we start with the youngest. Here we go, by Ken Meyer Jr. We have Vliam Andor. My. We are not off to a good start. This looks, well, I don't want to say terrible because I don't really know what the artist was going for. We've seen Ken Meyer Jr.'s work before, and it's been very impressive, but this one is just so monochromatic. What's with all the pink and purple? I mean, unicorn vomit type pictures are what we're used to seeing in later editions. But to see it here in 1st edition, I mean, no, I don't see a Gangrel. And I really don't see a vampire either. I probably just don't know what the artist was going for, but this is rather wide of the mark. He looks like Frankenberry from Monsters cereal. I mean, at least they could have given us Count Chocula. At least that guy's a vampire. But I don't want to dwell on that too long. Next, by John Bridges, Giuliano Vincenzi. This artist is the same guy that gave us Emerson Bridges, one of my favorite Ventru pieces of art. And this one's not bad. I do see a feral guy right here. Could be a little paler, but he's pretty pale. And he does kind of have a vampire face. He's got the harsh angles. He's got the gaunt countenance. And I just love that he's got a flannel tied around his waist. That is extremely 1990s grunge. I spent almost every day in high school with a flannel tied around my waist. That was just the style at the time. And this is good. This is a good picture. It doesn't hit as hard as Emerson Bridges, but this is only a young vampire. His capacity is only 2. So you don't expect him to be too impressive, but he looks good. I would play with this vampire. Looks great. Next, by Quentin Hoover, we have Ricky Van Dempsey. Quentin Hoover is sort of known for his cartoonish artwork. And in all honesty, this is probably one of the least cartoonish pieces of his that I can think of. It's well done. It's a little bit Disney looking. I know I just said that it looks less cartoonish than some of his other stuff, but it still has a kind of a cartoonish vibe to it. It looks like a pixie, but what can I say? This is a vampire. You can't argue with that. So very clearly, he's got the long fingernails, got the kind of the feral hairstyle, like the Wolverine hair. I can't tell if it's a he or a she, but I like it. I like Ricky Van Dempsey. It's decent looking. Not as dark or gothic as I would prefer, but I see a Gangrel. No question about it. Now, by Douglas Schuler, we have Anastasia Gray, or Anastasia if you're Russian. This is simply a woman. This is not a vampire. This is just like, again, when I see art like this, I have to assume the artist just didn't understand what their job was. I don't see a feral lady. I see a very ordinary lady that you would bump into at the supermarket. There's nothing about her that stands out as a vampire, let alone a Gangrel vampire. It's a nice art piece. She looks good. But there's not much else to say. I would have to exclude her from the deck because this is just not a vampire. Next, by Melissa Benson, we have Roman Alexander, or Roman if you're not Russian. This looks good. Once again, I really admire the way Melissa Benson can convey vampirism without fangs and blood, and she's done it again here. You can tell that this piece of art was leaning more into the gypsy aspect of the Gangrel, and it works. She made it work very nicely. This looks like a gypsy, a wanderer, and I like it. I like this piece. Now, what about this looks like a vampire? It's in the darkened eyes. She gets his countenance right somehow, and she gets the eyes right. He looks good. I would play with Roman Alexander, not just because I like Melissa Benson's vampires, but because he looks like a Gangrel. He looks like a Gangrel vampire, and it's well done, well depicted. Next, by Robert McNeil, we have Bear Paw. Now, I like this. First off, I'm just going to say, yes, I do like this vampire, but I don't really see a vampire. And I think what they were going for was a Native American vampire here, sort of a skinwalker type thing. But I'm seeing Fred Flintstone's outfit, and it's not sitting right with me. I do think he looks good, though. I like Bear Paw. I would probably, I might play with him. He might be worth playing with just because it's cool to have a Native American Gangrel vampire. But, I guess the skinwalker shapeshifter idea is what makes him a Gangrel. But he doesn't look very vampiric. Moving on. By L.A. Williams, we have Camille Devereaux. You know what? I love this picture. Let's focus in. You can see the vampire teeth and the vampire eyes. And her dress looks like it's covered in blood. It might just be the style of the dress, but that's a very vampiric dress style. She's pretty. I mean, this is 110% beautiful vampire woman. Fantastic job, L.A. Williams. I'm not sure why she's a Gangrel. I can only shrug about that. And there's nothing that says she's not. I mean, I guess a Gangrel can look like this. But yeah, she looks fierce. She looks like a vampire you don't want to mess with. And this is probably my favorite so far. I really am liking this art piece by L.A. Williams. That is fantastic. I would 100% include Camille Devereaux in all my Gangrel decks. She looks amazing. Next, by Quentin Hoover, Zach North. So, once again, we have Quentin Hoover, the guy who has a more cartoony art style, and I find this a little too cartoony. Purple skin, that's never really my favorite. I like that he's in a forest. Thank you for that background. I like that he's got the long, unkempt hair and beard. That strikes me as a feature of the Gangrel. But aside from the pallid complexion and the red eye, I just don't see a fearsome vampire here. And I guess vampires don't always have to be fearsome, but I don't find this guy somebody that I care to have on my team. He's cool. I mean, some people might really like him. He's got kind of a Scottish look about him with that little hat and the facial hair. So I don't have anything against him particularly. This one I feel is just, for some reason, I don't find him appealing. But some people might. Some people might. It's Quentin Hoover. So you're going to get something a little bit less realistic. Next, by Pete Venters, we've got Badger. And looking close, I think this is a female vampire. I think. Let me look closer here. This might be a female. Anyway, doesn't matter. Pete Venters does a really good job. One reason the Gangrel are everybody's favorite is because they have protein. So yeah, I mean, I see a magnificent, majestic, fearsome Gangrel vampire right here. This is a very well done picture. This artist knew exactly what he was supposed to be doing. Well done, Pete Venters on Badger. Next, by Ron Spencer, we have Gunther Beastlord. I love this picture. Ron Spencer has done it again. I love Ron Spencer's work because his work is so dark and gothic looking. This is a very gothic picture. I definitely see a vampire. I see a vampire who's got animalism because he's I'm not sure what he's doing to the owl. Is he putting it to sleep? I mean, they're nocturnal just like vampires, so why would the owl be sleepy at night? I don't know, but maybe he's just scratching its belly. I don't know, but he's clearly friends with the owl, and you can tell he seems to care for the owl. I love how the collar on his jacket is turned up, kind of like a Count Dracula collar. That is a magnificent touch that just adds to the vampiric countenance that we see here. This is a really admirable piece. It's beautiful. It's dark. It's got everything we're looking for in a Gangrel vampire. Absolutely knocked it out of the park. Thank you, Ron Spencer. Now we've got another Quentin Hoover. Etienne St. Clair. She is beautiful. I'm torn on this one because I don't know why her skin is green. I love that she's got white hair. I love that she's got a white hood. She does seem like somebody who would be good with animals. She's got that Disney princess vibe about her, but slightly darker. I mean, she's got the vampire red eyes, well, violet eyes that are a little bloodshot. The purple lipstick. She looks really good, but I'm a bit confused about the color. It is what it is. You get a Quentin Hoover piece, it's going to be a little more cartoonish. If we're going for vampire, I guess it would be in the colorful eyes and the green skin, although that's not really how I would prefer to have it conveyed. So I feel like I like this character. I like Etienne St. Clair, but I don't know why I like her, because the art style is throwing me off. If I absolutely had to include her in a deck, I would. But if I had to get rid of one, she would be among the first to go. Next, by Melissa Benson again, we have Quentin McDonnell. This is a beautiful piece. Once again, Melissa Benson has done it. She has given us clearly a Gangrel. Why is he swimming? I don't know. Is there a, like, clearly there's a wolf behind him. Is that like a mountain range against a darkening sky behind him? Or is he in a swimming pool? Like just over his shoulder on the right, what are those three little things? Are those like jacuzzi dials? I don't know. I'm not sure where he is, but he looks really good. He's got the piercing vampire glare. He's got that vampire widow's peak. He looks like a vampire. And the fact that he's got a wolf sitting nearby, I'm going to say the wolf is sitting at the edge of the jacuzzi, and that's where he is. This guy looks awesome. He's got the hairy chest coming up out of the water, like Wolverine hairy. That would be very much a Gangrel feature. The feral eyes. This guy looks magnificent. Very good. I would play with Quentin McDonnell. And he's a Primogen. Actually, Gatain St. Clair was also a Primogen. Next, by Susan Van Camp, we have Win. Don't like it. Right off the bat, I can tell you. I appreciate the eagle in the background, but I don't see a Gangrel or a vampire. I see some guy who likes to go camping a lot. I see a wilderness fanatic, and maybe somebody who's into Native American lore. So he's got the feather, and he's thinking about the hawk. The picture's well done, but I just don't see what I would like to see. I don't see what I'm looking for in this guy. Next, by Richard Thomas, we have Basilia. Now, that is a feral woman. That reminds me of Red Sonja. I see a Gangrel here, and she's also in the woods, standing next to a bit of water there, a pond or a stream or a river, and she's looking back at us. This is somebody who has just shape-shifted out of being a wolf or a bat or something, and she's just gone back to her haven in the woods to regenerate. I definitely see a Gangrel. Absolutely beautiful picture. Very vampiric, very Gangrel. This is well done. Just chef's kiss. We have the Justicar, the Gangrel Justicar by Richard Kane Ferguson. Angus the Unruled. This is a majestic picture. There's something about Richard Kane Ferguson's art that I just really like. He's always a little bit off with his proportions, but this is a dark picture. We are clearly looking at him in the middle of the night. There's the moon behind him. And he's got a face like it's carved of stone. And he's got the wild man hair blowing in the wind with the beard. I mean, everything about this just screams Gangrel. His skin looks like it's a greenish yellow color, which is fine. Do I see a vampire? I suppose so. He's got those ancient eyes. And again, that widow's peak just does it for me. If I were to see this picture outside the context of this game, I'm not sure I would identify him as a vampire. But in the context of the game, it's just one of those pictures that you see and go, yeah, okay, I'm sold on that being a vampire. Like it's not like Anastasia Gray, who just does not look at all like a vampire. I'm not at all sold. But you see Angus the Unruled, and you go, yeah, okay, that's a vampire, if you say so. Magnificent. Now, also, I wanted to point out a nice frame. It's this textured emerald green frame. Let's see if I can focus in on it a little better. Quite honestly, I think I prefer the 5th edition Gangrel framing. The color is a little too bright, but there's just something about Gangrel and the color green that seems to work. If Clan Gangrel has a color, it's going to be green, and their Justicar is going to look like a Scottish warlord. And lo and behold, that's what we've got. Love it. Love it. And that does it for first edition Gangrel. Gangrel, I have noticed, one of the most popular vampire clans. People seem to like them because of that Protean. It really is a big advantage in the role-playing game, and it's very good also in Vampire: The Eternal Struggle.